So I'm Caroline McKenna and I am originally from County Down. For the last 7 years I've been living in Australia, and just as a full-time teacher, really enjoying my life out there. And I felt like my students were looking up to people on Instagram as their role models who were not really, a lot of what they were doing was photoshopped, or they were showing the best parts of their relationship or their life and not really showing the highs and lows of life. And I felt like there was a lot of people my age as well doing the same, living out in Australia. So I decided to record a 15-minute podcast just on the realities of living abroad and how things can be really hard, in the hope that I could inspire my students to look up to more real people. And those 15 minutes changed my life, and I now have a podcast, I have a social media page, a following of over 200,000 on social media platforms. And yeah, I'm just trying to promote positive mental health throughout the world, and recently just moved back to Ireland to show that happiness is not a postcode. It started about 8 months ago on Bondi Beach. They were doing ice baths at sunrise. And I find that, throughout the years, I've been very honest on my podcast about the struggles that I've gone through. Having to go to counselling myself, struggling with anxiety, just being a 31-year-old girl trying to figure out life. And I find that whenever I went into those ice baths, it was like an instant change in my mindset. Whereas when I would go to counselling and stuff, it was a long haul of working throughout that to get that same impact. And I realised that there was something in it. So I started to look into the science behind it and came across Wim Hof and all of the work that he's done. And what I love about him is that he's able to back everything he does up with science. And, it's not witchcraft, it's not any of this woohoo stuff. It's real life, that he has gone to universities and proven that the cold water therapy can absolutely help look after your mental health and boost your immune system. And he has a great quote that the cold is the gateway to the soul, and it's really helped me make some huge decisions in my life. But I'm very honest in saying that 2 minutes in an ice bath's not going to cure you. Just like going to counselling, I always use the phrase of your mental health is like a kitchen floor that you have to constantly keep sweeping. So it's something that you have to continue to practice. I decided at this point in my life I wanted to leave Australia. I missed my family, had been away for a long time from the pandemic, and I think I did an article with you guys about that before, about the struggles of living abroad. So I wanted to go on this journey of self-discovery, and I applied for it. It was really hard to get onto. They sell out quite quickly, and I didn't tell anyone for a long time, including my parents, because they would have thought, what in the name of God are you going to do? So I went to Poland by myself. I was absolutely terrified. And when I got there, there was about 60 men and only a couple of girls, and I already felt out of my depth. And basically I was taken through a week of something that only I could describe as training for the Marines. It was very intense physically and mentally. One of the first things they made us do was to get into a below zero lake and tread water for 7 minutes. So I was doing my little ice baths for Instagram. They were only 2 minutes long, and thinking I was great. And then I realised that this is the real stuff. And it's in those moments of being in those really harsh conditions that you have to focus your mindset on surviving. And by the end of the week, we did a 5-hour hike up the mountain in just a bikini top and shorts, and a good mindset and mentality. And it's given me the opportunity to know that your mindset is so powerful that you can completely self-destruct, but you can also get through the most difficult times. And when I was climbing up that mountain, every step I was taking, I thought, I'm gonna die here. If I don't focus and I don't look after myself, there is no one coming to save me. It was just the most intense experience. And if I let my mind wander too much, I would have started to feel the cold. But when you focus on your mindset and think, just focus on your breath, focus on the next step, you don't feel the cold. And it is a powerful tool that will help me through anything in life now, knowing that no matter how difficult life can get and how times you can struggle, that you just have to keep breathing. I had no intentions of going to Kilimanjaro until I went to Wim Hof. And Wim Hof, like Kilimanjaro, is a very intense mountain to try and climb, especially with the altitude. And Wim Hof did the mountain in 2 days in a pair of shorts. And after going on that extreme holiday, I wouldn't call it a holiday, expedition, I realised that I can do absolutely anything, and the world is my oyster. Now that I've moved home from Australia, I really want to live life to the full. So I only decided like a week ago, I'm going to climb Kilimanjaro after hiking in those mountains for 5 hours. I can do this, and I'm going to try and raise thousands for PIP's charity for suicide awareness and prevention. And I'm going to do that in September, and I'm trying to get 15 people. I'm going to select from my followers to come and hike with me and hopefully raise a lot of awareness for mental health.